Fun with Stories. This podcast contains audio advertising. To hear it without ads, download the Fun with Stories app now. Welcome to Fun with Stories, the podcast where words come to life through exciting adventures and laugh-out-loud moments. Every episode, we take a tricky word, throw it into a fun-filled story featuring your favorite fairy tale and folk story characters, and make sure you'll never forget it. So, are you ready to learn new words the fun way with Little Red Riding Hood, Puss in Boots, the Gingerbread Man, Snow White, and more? Then let's jump into today's adventure on Fun with Stories.
King of the Toy Shelf. Heroes shine no matter where they are. In a cozy bedroom filled with bedtime stories and tumble-down towers of toys, a little child played every evening with their favorite toy, a proud, shiny robot named RoboMax. With blinking lights and a chest that boomed, "Mission accepted," RoboMax wasn't just any toy. He lived on the top shelf, right in the center. That was the special spot, the important spot. Every night, RoboMax gave orders to the rest of the toys. "Line up, troops. Time for lights-out security check." The stuffed animals obeyed. The puzzle pieces listened. He was the clear leader. But one night, RoboMax made a mistake. He had promised to watch the shelf while Bunny took a nap. "Don't worry," he said. "I've got this." But RoboMax got distracted, playing laser beam tag with himself. When he finally looked around, Bunny was gone. She had slipped behind the bookshelf, out of sight. The toys panicked. "You were in charge," Puzzle Pig cried. "And you let her disappear," added Saki. The next morning, the child searched and finally found Bunny, dusty and squished. She was placed gently back on the bed, but RoboMax, he was moved from the top shelf to the bottom drawer. RoboMax sat in the dark. His lights flickered. "What just happened?" he said. "I've been relegated." Later, Saki peeked into the drawer. "It's called being relegated, buddy," he said. "It means to move someone or something to a lower or less important place or role." RoboMax sat still for a long time. "To move someone to a lower or less important place or role?" he whispered. "That's exactly what happened to me." It was darker down here, quieter. But Drawer Town wasn't empty. It was full of surprises. Saki showed him the slipper tunnel, the paperclip ladder, and a tiny passage behind the dresser. "This place isn't bad once you know your way around," said Saki. RoboMax explored. He zipped down the pencil chute, climbed the sock pile without slipping, made a map with a broken crayon. The next night, the toys gathered to play their usual mission game. RoboMax poked his head out of the drawer. "Can I lead the teams again?" Puzzle Pig shook his head. "You were in charge when Bunny got lost. Now Flare Dragon is." "That's what happens when you get relegated. It means to move someone or something to a lower or less important place or role." All the toys turned to Flare Dragon. "Yeah," said Puzzle Pig. "He's the strongest. He should lead now. Flare Dragon puffed his chest proudly, flapped his shiny wings. RoboMax stepped back into the drawer without a word. Even Flare Dragon stayed quiet. Then a sudden cry. "Help! I'm slipping!" It was Bunny again. Flare Dragon tried to help, but his wings were too wide. He got stuck in the shelf. That's when RoboMax jumped into action. Thanks to his time in Drawer Town, he knew the back routes behind the furniture. He scrambled up the sock pile, slid down the ruler ramp, and squeezed through the tiny passage behind the dresser, just like Saki had shown him. "Hold on! I've got you!" With one mighty pull, he brought Bunny back to safety. All the toys stared. Puzzle Pig blinked. Saki clapped. Even Flare Dragon gave a respectful nod. "You saved me again," Bunny whispered. That night, Saki patted RoboMax on the shoulder. Being relegated doesn't mean you stop mattering. It just means your place changed. RoboMax smiled softly. He finally understood. Being relegated didn't mean forgotten. It just meant being moved to a lower or less important place or role for a little while. From then on, RoboMax was sometimes in the drawer, sometimes in the toy bin, sometimes under the bed. But no matter where he was, he had a mission. Relegated or not, he said, I'm still RoboMax. And when the lights dimmed, his chest lit up again. Mission accepted.
So, let's pause for a moment and talk about that funny little word you just heard, relegate. Spelling RELEGATE. Relegate. But what is relegate? It means to move someone or something to a lower or less important place or role. Synonyms of relegate include demote, downgrade, dismiss, deprioritize. And the antonyms include promote, elevate, upgrade, advance. Here are two quick examples. After missing his turn, Max was relegated to the back of the line. The old books were relegated to the bottom shelf in the library. Try using relegate in your everyday speech. You might be surprised how often it fits. And that brings us to the end of today's adventure. We've explored a brand new word, had some fun with our favorite storybook characters, and now it's your turn to use it in real life. Want more fun stories and exciting words to learn? Download the Fun with Stories app for extra content, activities, and even more magical word adventures. Thanks for listening, and remember, words are powerful when you make them yours. See you next time on Fun with Stories.